This is Dr. Guru Sontakke. I have been mentoring UPSC aspirants for the past 10 years. And today we are going to discuss why anthropology as an optional is a great choice for UPSC aspirants. If you want to gain good score and ultimately be a ranker, then a good optional would contribute a lot for it. Yes, out of 22 optionals, why one should go for anthropology? Yes, there are several criteria based on which we choose optional, definitely. Not because my senior has taken, not because my friend has taken some optional, not because my coaching institute has suggested me to take that optional, but based on your own interest, there is criteria. There are 3 points. First of all, you should feel interested in that syllabus. The second important criteria is that whether reading material, standard books are available in and a good guidance is available for that particular optional, then it's okay. And your interest first, and all these two things. Then based on these criteria, you must select your optional. And the third would be whether it is scoring or not. That is the third criteria. Even if it is not a scoring optional, but if you have interest and all these criteria are fulfilled, you can go for it. So let's see what is anthropology and how it is, scoring optional and why one should opt it. If you opt it, how you should prepare it, a complete roadmap in a brief session. So let me begin. What is anthropology? Anthropology is a study of man across space and time. It is the scientific study of man in totality. It has 4 main branches, like social cultural anthropology, biological anthropology, linguistic anthropology, and archaeological anthropology. So before I proceed to give you explanation about the anthropology as a subject, every UPSC aspirant has this question in their mind before they go. Which optional should I choose? Is anthropology suitable for me? Is biology and anthropology difficult? Can art students score well? How much time is required? Can I complete it with GS? Is coaching really necessary? How should I write answers? So today we are all going to, I'm going to answer all these questions. So why optional subject is so important? Because it carries 500 marks. And if your optional score is beyond 300 or around 300, you have a good chance of getting a good rank. So yes, this is the breakup of UPSC mains examination marks, like essay, GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, language papers, and interview, etc. So, but optional, as I told you, 2 papers, 250, 250, 500 marks. So it is around 28% of your total mains. So many selections are decided because of your optional. This is a breakup of all in percentage of all the mains subjects. So optional here weighs 28%. Yes, sir. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Then why anthropology is the science of human beings? I'm now coming back to the subject matter, what anthropology exactly is. It studies humans. It is the scientific study of humanity. What does it include? It studies human evolution, human biology, which includes genetics. It studies the society, civilizations and societies, then culture, tribe, We also study religion, economy, politics, development, and India's tribal issues. In short, as I told you, mentioned earlier also, anthropology studies the human beings in totality. Who can choose anthropology? I think a graduate from any background can choose anthropology and score really well. People consider that it is biology loaded, but it is not. At that, I'm going to explain it, how much it weighs and how to tackle that part of your syllabus. So that is the biggest myth, which I was mentioning. Anthropology is only biology. No, it is around 30, 35% of the total syllabus, and which is a basic biology only. If you have studied, definitely you have studied biology till class 10th, then you know all the basic concepts. So let me say, so this is the reality which I approximately 35 to 40% of the syllabus. We are going to analyze, do the analysis of the syllabus as well. So major chunk includes social cultural anthropology, which is around approximately 60 to 60% of the syllabus. And in that also most scoring topics are culture, marriage, family, kinship, religion, tribal India, development, and applied biology. These are the most scoring areas of your paper. This particular section, if you do it very well, carefully study, you give some ample time for it, you are not going to lose marks in this particular section, because the theories, the principles, the evolutionary processes are not going to change. So once you know it, you retrieve it and produce it on the answer, there is less chance of deduction in marks in this section. Many students tell me that we feared earlier the section which is biology, but we are scoring very well in that one. Why that happens? Because they study it very carefully. Once they do it, then there's little scope of losing marks. So biology, how to do biology without fear? As I told you, you have studied it class 10th. So, and we are also going to teach you biology from the basic if you fear the biology section. So here, what biology means? You do not have to be an MBBS graduate, PDS or PAMS doctor. You do not need any BSc, arts background, commerce background, engineer background. Any students from any stream can go and study this and get good marks. So what you need while studying this is diagrams, and very basic is the conceptual clarity. You must have conceptual clarity. Smart notes will be provided to you, and the revision, if you do proper revision, timely revision, you will lose really less mark in biology, or no deduction in the marks as well. So why students love anthropology so much? You are aware that it has been a trending optional for the last, I would say, 2 decades, and for the last 1 decade it has given many toppers. In the initial when I started this session, I mentioned that you should not choose optional because it is trending also. It should solely depend on your interest, available material, guidance, and then third criteria comes whether it is scoring or not. So it is scoring. It has very small syllabus, which could be completed in less span of time, and which will yield you around 300 marks. So that may fetch you a good rank. So what it includes? It is small syllabus. The reasons, yes, because of its small syllabus. The nature, scientific and social sciences, is a nice blend of science and social sciences. Intersecting topics, which are you can show interlinkages with your studies also. The logical progression of syllabus and concepts is there, which is easy to understand, because you can relate it to day-to-day life also. Marriage, topics like marriage, kinship, your economy, polity, and genetics as well, and evolutionary processes as well. So you can relate it to your day-to-day lives. It has good overlap with the GS, all 3 papers. Some overlap is there with ethics. In essay also, society and culture could be utilized. Short revision cycle, since the syllabus is small, Your revision cycle should also be short, and it can be integrated with the current affairs as well. What is happening in Odisha with the tribals? That issue, could it be incorporated in your answer? What is happening in marriages, the dating culture, I don't know, with the families in India, the marriage scenario, the kinship pattern, the joint families, how they are moving. We used to have lots of joint families earlier, but now nuclear families are on the rise. So what are the reasons? We can, definitely connect that with the syllabus. So this is the overlap with and the GS. In GS1, you could find society, culture, tribe, population. In GS2, tribal welfare, constitution, governance. In GS3, health, nutrition, environment, biotech, and internal security. And this is very important. GS4, ethics, human values, even essays, social issues, and development. Let us now analyze the syllabus. Okay, so these are briefly bifurcated syllabus into two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. So paper 1, is a foundation. I'm going to show you the paper also. We'll see the syllabus. So you must be having a copy of syllabus with you. I assume that you must have seen the syllabus. If you have not seen, please open it and see it. So paper 1 includes all the foundational concepts, which starts from the meaning and scope and development of anthropology, its logical progression, and then its relationship with other subjects. Yeah. Till paper 1.3, it's about society and culture. Then biology comes in. 1.4, human evolution and emergence of man, and then characteristic of primates, and the biological basis of life, how cell, DNA structure, application, protein synthesis, etc., gene mutation, chromosome, is all we have learned in our schools, right? Okay. So then the cultural evolution, we have seen biological evolution, cultural evolution, its phases starting from Paleolithic to the Iron Age. And from 2.1, the culture starts, the culture and society. So magically, syllabus, which is very interesting, which is very relevant to our society and all over the world also. Basically, the concepts of evolution of our social institutions and culture and civilization, we can say. So the nature and nature of society. Then, as I mentioned, marriage. आप लोगों को लगता है कि ये मेरे रिलेव्हंट नाही है. 1-2 साल के बाद किंवा 1-2 वर्षाच्या नंतर तुम्हालाच विचारणा करण्यात येईल, लग्न करणार का नाही. मग असा लग्न तुमच्या आयुष्याचा भाग आहे. किनशिप, नाते, नातलग, फॅमिली, आयुष्य, इकॉनॉमिक, राजकीय, राजकारण हे तुमच्या आयुष्याचा भाग आहे. त्यामुळे त्याला तुम्ही क्लोजली समजून घेऊ शकता. तर हे मॅरेज म्हणजे मॅरेज असं सिम्पली आपल्याकडे जसं अरेंज मॅरेज किंवा लव्ह मॅरेज आहे किंवा आता लिव्ह इन रिलेशनशिप आहे, तसं नाहीये. ते पेपर 2 मध्ये येईल. मॅरेज युनिव्हर्सल आहे का नाही, कुठून मॅरेजचं इव्होल्युशन कसं झालं आणि किती प्रकारचे मॅरेजेस आहेत, किंवा मेट सिलेक्शनचे क्रायटेरियाज, वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या लग्नाच्या पद्धती काय आहेत. तुम्ही रिसेंटली उत्तराखंडमध्ये एका मुलीने 2 भावांसोबत लग्न केलं असं ऐकलं आणि त्याला रामायणाशी जोडलं. पण तशा प्रकारच्या जमाती आपल्या देशात आहेत की जिथे अशा प्रकारचे लग्न प्रकार अजूनही आहेत. किंवा केरळमध्ये नायर व्हिजिटिंग हजबंडचा प्रथा आहे, किंवा मॅट्रिलिनियल सोसायटीज मध्ये जसं खासी असेल तिकडे वेगळी प्रथा आहे. तर त्या बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ मॅरेज अँड टाइप्स ऑफ मॅरेज हे आपण इथे समजून देतो. फॅमिली अगेन हे पण एक युनिव्हर्सल इन्स्टिट्यूशन आहे. मग आहे का नाही, तिथून फॅमिली, हाऊसहोल्ड, डोमेस्टिक ग्रुप ह्यामध्ये फरक करून टाइप्स ऑफ फॅमिलीज जशा की आपण बघतोय आजकाल न्यूक्लिअर फॅमिलीज जास्त येतात, इंडिव्हिज्युअल्स आणि इंडिव्हिज्युअलिस्टिक राहणीमान जास्त वाढते, त्याला विविध कारण आहेत, ते फॅक्टर्स आहेत, ते पेपर 2 मध्ये आहेत. ओके. मग किनशिप, नातेसंबंध कसे काय आहेत, कुठल्या क्लासिफिकेटरी टर्म्स आहेत किंवा ऍड्रेस कसं करायचं, जगभर कशा केल्या जातात वेगवेगळ्या जमातींमध्ये, ह्याचा अभ्यास होतो. इकॉनॉमिक ऑर्गनायझेशन सगळ्यात महत्वाचं आहे. इकॉनॉमिक शिवाय दुसरं काहीच नाही, म्हणजे आयुष्यच पुढे जाऊ शकत नाही. तर इकॉनॉमिक ऑर्गनायझेशन कसं, कुठून माणसाची सुरुवात झाली, हंटिंग गॅदरिंग पासून जे सेटल लाईफ आली, त्यात वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या एक्सचेंजच्या सिस्टीम कशा निर्माण झाल्या, बार्टर पासून ते आतापर्यंत मॉडर्न इकॉनॉमी पर्यंत. सो इथे बेसिक एक्सचेंजच्या सिस्टीम, डिस्ट्रीब्युशनच्या सिस्टीम वगैरे, आपण प्रोडक्शन अँड डिस्ट्रीब्युशनच्या सिस्टीम बघणार आहोत. जसं की मी म्हणालो, हंटिंग गॅदरिंग पासनं पॅस्टोरलिझम, हॉर्टिकल्चर, ऍग्रिकल्चर, आणि मग आताची ग्लोबलाइज्ड इकॉनॉमी, आणि त्याचं इंटरसेक्शन विथ इंडिजिनस इकॉनॉमी ज्या आहेत आपल्याकडे इकडे. मग पॉलिटिकल ऑर्गनायझेशन अँड सोशल कंट्रोल, नक्कीच माणूस सेटल झाला, एवढे मोठे कॉम्प्लेक्स ऑर्गनायझेशन आणि इन्स्टिट्यूशन्स आले, तर एक नॉर्म्स, ऑल कलेक्टिव्ह नॉर्म्स असायला पाहिजे सोशल बिहेवियर कंट्रोल करण्यासाठी. त्यासाठी पॉलिटिकल ऑर्गनायझेशन, म्हणजे हे इट स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम चिफडम, देन एका ट्रायबल कबिल्याचं चीफ असेल, तिथनं मग किंगडम, राजवाडे, आणि आता नेशन स्टेट पर्यंत काय लेजिटिमसी, ऑथॉरिटी अँड पॉवर. तर इथे पॉलिटिकल ऑर्गनायझेशन आणि सोशल कंट्रोल मध्ये पॉलिटिक्स सुद्धा येतं. सो बघा, हे आपल्या दररोजच्या आयुष्याशी अत्यंत निगडीत असलेल्या गोष्टी आहेत. त्यामुळे हा सिलेबस आपण नक्कीच कनेक्ट करू शकतो. आणि हा सगळ्यात महत्वाचा इश्यू जो की तुम्ही अजून कनेक्ट करू शकता, रिलीजन, धर्म. सो पण अँथ्रोपॉलॉजी ह्याला, आपण जसं धर्माला बघतो लेमॅन, तसं नाही बघत की धर्माची सुरुवातच कुठून झाली, एव्होल्युशन कुठून आलं, कुठून कधी धर्म, जादू, विज्ञान किंवा आत्म्याची पूजा, कुठल्या ऑब्जेक्टची पूजा ज्याच्यामध्ये आत्मा आहे असं वाटलं, अॅनिमिझम असेल, आणि अशा गोष्टी ज्या आतापर्यंत आपण पॉलिथिइझम असेल, आणि आताची मॉडर्न स्टेज म्हणजे मोनोथिइझम. अशा प्रकारे धर्माचा अभ्यास इथे केला जातो. देन पेपर 1 मधली सगळ्यात महत्वाची युनिट जे असेल ते अँथ्रोपॉलॉजिकल थिअरीज आहे. यू ऑल मस्ट बी अवेअर दॅट थिअरीज आर द बॅकबोन ऑफ एव्हरी डिसिप्लिन or subject, let it be your economics, let it be your political science, or psychology or sociology, and even anthropology. The basic thing is that you must understand these theories very well. Why? Because you will have to establish interlinkages with paper 2 and even in paper 1. So if you have done this very well and would be able to or could be able to establish the linkages in your answers, you'll get good marks. Because see, इथे म्हणजे एका बाजूला आपण बायोलॉजिकल इव्होल्युशन कसं झालं ते तिथे वरती बघतो, तर इथे सोसायटी आणि कल्चरचं इव्होल्युशन कसं झालं ते बघतो, आणि त्यासोबत अँथ्रोपॉलॉजीचंही इव्होल्युशन ॲज अ डिसिप्लिन कसं झालं ते ह्यात बघता येतं. क्लासिकल इव्होल्युशनिस्ट एका युनिलिनियर वेनी स्टेप बाय स्टेप सोसायटी इव्हॉल्व्ह झाली असं म्हणतात, सॅवेज, बार्बरिझम, आणि नंतर सिव्हिलायझेशन. तर त्याच्यानंतर मग त्यांना खोडून न्यू इव्होल्युशनिस्ट आले की नाही ते असं नाही, थोडंसं वेगळं. आणि त्यांचा सगळ्यात मोठा क्रिटिक म्हणजे फ्रान्स बोआस, की तुम्ही फार आर्मचेअर अँथ्रोपॉलॉजी करताय आणि relied on secondary data, go in the field and study and then compare society in their historical context. Diffusionism, त्याच्या 3 schools, functionalism, structural. आता I will not explain this into detail here since this is introductory lecture. So theories are pretty important backbone of your subject, and you must be establishing interlinkages with your answers from paper 1 and paper 2 as well. Then culture and language and communication. ह्याच्यामध्ये as I told you in the beginning only, we have 4 branches. One of them is linguistic anthropology, which is little known and little studied, but UPSC has also included that section since it is very important. You will be becoming officers, so you need to have good communication skills, and you need to know the languages, and to govern well you need to know the people. That's why also anthropology is useful, because you will be knowing your society, culture, and people very well. So language, here They also study here also the evolution of languages and variation is studied, and social linguistic part. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis is pretty important, which UPSC has been asking for several years. Then every subject has its research methodology. So anthropology is known for its fieldwork tradition and ethnography and imagenetic approach, and it is a holistic study of humanity. Okay. So again, from 9 to 12, it is biology, again genetics, chromosomes, race. Okay. So concepts and methods like ecological anthropology, epidemiology, and growth and nutrition after genetics parts. Then comes, yeah, this is applied anthropology, which has been in train now. UPSC has been asking questions on this also. Forensic anthropology or nutritional anthropology, maybe now football World Cup is going, sports anthropology also. So yeah, and there are two parts, applied anthropology and action anthropology. It's interchangeable, but has some difference. Applied, the theoretical knowledge or subject knowledge could be utilized for the well-being or welfare of the society. Could be applied anthropology. Means an anthropologist sitting in the Niti Aayog making policies for the tribals or women is applied. But anthropologist getting on the road and implementing those policies or working on that himself involved action. So this is applied and action part of anthropology. Now we are coming to paper 2. Paper 1 has told about the basic concepts, the foundations. You can call paper 1 as world anthropology or general anthropology, which establishes all the basic concepts all over the globe. Now, paper 2 focuses on us. Us means the Indians, the Indian society and culture. So you will, it starts with the evolution of Indian culture and civilization. ये जरा IBC वगैरह उधर के आर्कियोलॉजी के साथ क्लब किया जाएगा बाद में, जैसे पढ़ाऊंगा मैं तो एक लॉजिकल हिसाब से सिलेबस को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करूंगा. Then if you know archaeology in India, demographic profile, etc. कालच वर्ल्ड पॉप्युलेशन डे झाला, काल का परवा. सो मग आपण आपल्या फिलॉसॉफिकल रिलीजियस फिलॉसॉफिक मध्ये येतो, सुरुवात करतो. Indian social system, the Hindu social order, we can say karma, varnashrama, purushartha, karma, rina, and rebirth. So what we are, our philosophical thought process is the epics, not in totality, but basic philosophical principles. And social stratification, जो इंडिया जे भारतात आहे ते जाती आधारित आहे. इतर ठिकाणी ते वर्ण आधारित, रेस. बायोलॉजीने रेस, सॉरी बायोलॉजी म्हणतो, अँथ्रोपॉलॉजी आणि UN ने सांगितले की रेस ही संकल्पना कशी म्हणजे खोटी आहे, ती अस्तित्वात नाहीये. पण तरी स्ट्रॅटिफिकेशन जगभरात आढळतं वेगवेगळ्या क्रायटेरिया वरती वेगवेगळ्या समाजात. त्याचा अभ्यास आपण अँथ्रोपॉलॉजीमध्ये करतो. जसं की वेस्टर्न कंट्रीजमध्ये सांगितलं की रंगावरनं रेसिझम होतं, कुठे भाषेवरनं होतं, कुठं इथनिसिटीवरनं होतं, भारतात कास्टवरनं. सो कास्ट अँड विलेज जे आहे त्या गोष्टीचा इथे आपण वापर करतो ह्याच्यात सिलेबसच्या पेपर 2 मध्ये. Then impact of Buddhism, Jainism, Islam, Christianity on Indian society. Basic मोठे 4 रिलीजन आहेत, त्याचा काय परिणाम होतो. Then growth and development in 20th century administration, contribution of the Indian anthropologists, etc. Then village studies, villages. गांधीजींनी सांगितलंय भारत हा खेड्यांचा देश आहे, तसं आहेच. आणि इकॉनॉमी पण बघितलं गेली तर आजपर्यंतही जवळपास 60%, इफ आय एम नॉट रॉंग, थोडं अप्रॉक्सिमेटली आपली रुरल आणि ऍग्रिकल्चर याच्यावरतीच डिपेंडंट आहे. विलेजेसचा अभ्यास ह्यात आपण करतो. मिल्टन सिंगर, मॅकिम मॅरियट आणि शिकागो युनिव्हर्सिटीचे रिव्हर्स जे असतील, रेडफिल्ड जे असतील, त्यांनी अर्ली 50s मध्ये इथे येऊन भारतीय खेड्यांचा अभ्यास केला. मग आपले इंडियन असतील एम एन श्रीनिवासन, एल पी विद्यार्थी, इरावती कर्वे, आंबेडकर, ह्या लोकांनी पण भारतीय अँथ्रोपॉलॉजिस्ट म्हणून इंडियन विलेजेस आणि कास्टचा अभ्यास केलेला आहे. तो मग इथं महत्वाचा सेक्शन, व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट सेक्शन इन पेपर 2, which allows you to establish so many interlinkages with the theory section, like functionalism, structuralism असेल किंवा कॅपिटलिझम, कन्झ्युमरिझम असेल किंवा जिथे डेव्हलपमेंट अँड डिस्प्लेसमेंट येतं आणि इश्यूज येतात, त्या सेक्शनला आपण तिकडे कसं इंटरलिंक करू शकतो ते पण आपण बघू. सो ट्रायबल सेक्शन सगळ्यात जास्त तुम्हाला पेपर 2 मध्ये मार्क्स देणारा एक कंपोनंट आहे. आणि आपल्याकडे खूप व्हेरिएशन आहे ट्राईब्सचं भारतामध्ये. तर त्याचा अभ्यास करतात ते ट्रायबल सिच्युएशन काय आहे, त्याचं डिस्ट्रीब्युशन काय आहे, कुठल्या बेसिसवरती त्यांना क्लासिफाय केलेलं आहे आणि आता त्याची सध्या परिस्थिती काय आहे, त्यांचे प्रॉब्लेम्स काय आहेत. तर आपल्याला डेव्हलपमेंट हवीच आहे, विकासासोबत त्यांचं डिस्प्लेसमेंट सुद्धा हवं. तर त्या दोन्ही गोष्टींचं एक काय म्हणतात त्याला, गोल्डन मीन शोधून आपण डेव्हलपमेंट कशी करावी, हा इथे एक पर्स्पेक्टिव्ह निर्माण होऊ शकतो त्या सगळ्या गोष्टी जर आपण बघितल्या तर. सो नंतर एक वीकर सेक्शन ऑफ इंडियन सोसायटी म्हणून आपण विमेन, शेड्यूल ट्राईब्स, शेड्यूल कास्ट यांना बघतो त्याच्याबद्दल आणि त्यांच्या कॉन्स्टिट्युशनल सेफगार्ड्स काय आहेत, त्या सोशल चेंज इन कंटेम्पररी ट्रायबल सोसायटीज, इम्पॅक्ट ऑफ मॉडर्न डेमोक्रेटिक इन्स्टिट्यूशन्स एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. तर इथेनिक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट असतील, पॉलिटिकल डेव्हलपमेंट्स असतील, अनरेस्ट असतील. तुम्हाला ट्रायबल अनरेस्ट बद्दल थोडस माहिती असेल, कुठल्या ट्रायबलची ट्रायबल नेता आठवतो का तुला? मुंडा, संथाल, रिसेंटली त्यांचं हे आणि आपल्या महाराष्ट्रातही वारली, गोदावरीताई वगैरे अशा बऱ्याचशा रेबेलियन किंवा अनरेस्ट झालेल्या बेस्ड ऑन द कंटेम्पररी फॅक्टर्स विच वर रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दोज. तर त्या गोष्टी मग अगेन, ह्या ट्रायबल्स आर नॉट पार्ट ऑफ एनी रिलीजन, दे हॅव देअर ओन रुडिमेंटरी अँड ओन रिलीजन. सो वी हॅव ऑल 4 रिलीजन्स इन इंडिया, हिंदुइझम, बुद्धिझम, मेन आय एम सेइंग ख्रिश्चॅनिटी. ह्यांचा इम्पॅक्ट त्यांच्यावरती काय झाला, संस्कृतायझेशन, डिसंस्कृतायझेशन, ते कसं होतं त्याचाही थोडासा अभ्यास केलेला आहे. मग ट्राईब अँड नेशन स्टेट, कंपॅरेटिव्ह स्टडी ऑफ ट्रायबल कम्युनिटीज इन इंडिया वेगवेगळे आहेत. आणि हिस्ट्री ऑफ ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, ब्रिटिशरांपासून किंवा त्याच्या आधीपासून त्या ट्रायबल एरियाचं ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कसं करण्यात आलेलं आहे आणि कुठल्या अप्रोचेस होत्या, जसं की आयसोलेशन, असिमिलेशन आणि इंटिग्रेशन. शेवटी जे जवाहरलाल नेहरू पहिले पंतप्रधान त्यांनी सुचवलेलं आणि त्यानुसार आपण त्यांच्या ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशन आणि वेलफेअरसाठी एक सरकार म्हणून भारतीय सरकार काम करतं त्याच्यावरती आणि त्यांच्या विकासाकडे लक्ष देतं. सो मग ह्यात रोल काय आहे अँथ्रोपॉलॉजीचा इन ट्रायबल अँड रुरल डेव्हलपमेंट? So anthropologists are the best people to understand their tribal culture, norms, behaviors well. That's why and rural setup also. So they can give their inputs. Again, action anthropology चा पार्ट की हे असं तुम्हाला इंटरलिंकेज तिकडे करता आलं पाहिजे. Then contribution of anthropologists in understanding regionalism, किती इश्यूज आहेत आपल्याकडचे, कम्युनॅलिझम, एथनिक अँड पॉलिटिकल. डेफिनेटली हा माणसाला समजून घेतो म्हणून विषय, त्यामुळे अँथ्रोपॉलॉजिस्ट आर बेस्ट सुटेड टू गिव्ह सोल्युशन ऑन सच काइंड ऑफ इश्यूज. आता सिलेबस डिस्कस केल्याच्या नंतर लेट्स नाउ गो टू आन्सर. नाउ यू आर अवेअर अबाउट द मेजर एरियाज ऑफ द सिलेबस. वी हॅव अनालाइज्ड की around 30 to 35% part of syllabus goes to biological section, and the rest is socio-cultural, which we have seen here. So let's now move to the questions. How UPSC asks questions. You must have seen the 2025 मेंस का पेपर. तर त्यात थोडं प्रश्न आधी जसे होते तसे नव्हते. तर त्यामुळे Your stance should not be only to rely on PYQs, toppers notes, and your class notes or your own notes. You must be able to understand, or you must have conceptual clarities which paper one asks for, including theories and all other concepts. Then only you will be able to establish interlinkages and understand or solve the questions which UPSC has started asking from 2025. So, and it has made difficult for people, aspirants to score 300 plus. But it is not impossible. It is possible given that you do study well, understand the concepts well, you have the clarity, you have the practice, you have the revisions, you have constant feedback from the mentors or teachers, then you will definitely be able to cross 300 mark, believe me. Just analyze the papers and understand the trend, then you can definitely score marks well. So yes, what I mentioned is that only you must have conceptual, the questions might be conceptual, analytical, interdisciplinary, maybe current affairs based, maybe applied, which we have studied in our syllabus now, case study based. So here it's one of example. It is a simple question like what is culture? UPSC will not ask in that question. It will ask, is culture unique to human beings? Or discuss cultural relativism in contemporary societies. So this is an ideal structure of answer writing. Basic structure, we all know that it starts with introduction, a body, and the conclusion. There are three types of questions UPSC asks, right? 10 markers, 15 markers, and 20 markers. So your time management is very important in this particular segment. So generally, expected time to cover these questions based on their weightage. For 10 markers, you must not give more than 7 minutes. For 15 markers, maybe 11, 10.5 or 11, and 20 markers, you can give 14. So this is formula 7, 11, 14. Then you will be able to manage your time and answer the questions and reach the score. Okay. So word limit 10 markers, we have 150. For 15 markers, we have 200 marks. And for 200 words. And for 20 markers, we have 300 words. So there is a scope of, plus minus 20 word limit में 150 का है आंसर 10 मार्क. तो इसमें आप 170 तक या फिर कम को जरा कम ही मार्क मिलेगा इवैल्यूएटर से. Around, do not exceed that. But when it comes to 20 markers and it's about 300 words, right? So do not go. I recommend not to go beyond 300. Keep this range between. So you'll get good marks. And you must have seen the answer sheets which UPSC provides, right? It has blank space and the margins. Do not try to, or do not go beyond those margins. You try to write into that itself. Again, the beauty of anthropology is that this is the structure of answer. Based on the demand of the question, you should incorporate the elements like scholar, explanations, diagrams, examples, case studies, and you could include a current affairs element also, critical analysis at the end, and then way forward and conclude it. Structure of answer writing. But again, if it is 10 marker, then your stance should change according to. First of all, you must understand the question, whether it is asking you to explain, whether it is asking you to discuss, whether it is asking you to evaluate or critically evaluate, take your time to understand, to sink in, then follow, structure the answer and follow and write. So yes, what makes 15 markers 12 plus in your answer writing? An average student writes information. A topper gives all these inputs. Your answer must include, for this to achieve, sorry, you should be able to understand anthropology. That's why think like anthropologist and write like a pro. Then you will become a topper. You do not have to become an anthropologist because it is not expected. In 4 months or 6 months education, even master's degree holder is not called an anthropologist. Okay, so but after reading all these two papers, no, you must be thinking like an anthropologist. So then only you will be able to put in the essence in that answer, which may, which will, uh, lead to getting good evaluation from the evaluator and getting good marks. So you must use scholars, you must use flowcharts, examples, diagrams, keywords, hashtags, those are keywords now. Okay, comparisons and Indian examples and current affairs. So again, एंथ्रोपोलॉजी का अच्छा प्लस पॉइंट और क्या है, यहाँ पे you have flowcharts, diagrams and keywords तो हर जगह पे होते हैं. फ्लो चार्ट्स एंड डायग्राम्स और टेबल्स के जरिए भी आप आंसर राइटिंग कर सकते हैं, which saves your time and gives what an evaluator needs. 10 मार्कर्स है, कोई कंपैरेटिव कंपैरिजन पूछा है रेस एंड कास्ट के बारे में, 2 सेक्शन बना दिए, पॉइंट्स लिख दिए, आगे बढ़ गए. ओके, सो फ्लो चार्ट्स एंड डायग्राम मतलब आपके आन्सर का प्रेझेंटेशन बहुत अच्छा हो इन चीजों से, इन एलिमेंट्स से, त्यामुळे पण ह्याची आन्सर रायटिंग चांगली होते आणि चांगले मार्क्स मिळतात. So again, scholars make the difference, definitely. You must include wherever the scholars are required in your answers. Scholars like Morgan, Malinowski, Redcliffe Brown, Evans Pritchard, Levi-Strauss, structuralist, M. N. Srinivas, S. C. Dubé, N. K. Bose, etc. So ह्यांचे कोट्स जे आहेत टॉपर्स वापरतात. तुम्ही जेव्हा अभ्यास करता, जेव्हा स्वतःच्या नोट्स सुद्धा काढता, तेव्हा ह्यांच्या कोट्स सुद्धा काढून ठेवा, ज्या की तुम्हाला त्या रिलेव्हंट उत्तरामध्ये वापरता येतील. कारण टॉपर्सच्या आन्सर्स मध्ये कोट्स असतात आणि त्याला मार्क्स चांगले पडतात. देन डायग्राम बेस्ड लर्निंग करता येते ह्याच्यामध्ये. कॉन्सेप्टच तशा आहेत, तुम्हाला मी सांगितलं पेपर 1 मध्ये आपण बघितलं तर बायोलॉजीचा सेक्शन असेल, आर्किओलॉजीचा असेल, तुम्ही त्याला डायग्राम बेस्ड लर्निंग करू शकता. इव्हन सोशो कल्चरल मध्ये सुद्धा तुम्ही ग्राफ आणि डायग्राम बेस्ड स्टडी करू शकता. सो अशा डायग्राम्स तुम्ही वापरून तुमच्या उत्तरामध्ये देऊ शकता. And I had also promised you to give you a 5-month roadmap to complete this optional, which is of 500 marks in anthropology. So we can divide it in the whole syllabus in 5 segments, in 5 months rather. So I have prepared this. First month would be dedicated to your foundations, which are from paper 1, introduction, branches, etc., human evolution. I will do like 1.3 first, and then 2.1 to theories and linguistic anthropology. Yeah, and then 1.4 and the genetics part will be covered. Biological basis of life and so. So biology will be discussed in one go. Okay, and then including primates, primatology and primates, etc. And then we will move to paper असं 3-4 सेक्शन मध्ये लॉजिकल, जसं की this part will be in second month and this part will be taken in third. Okay, of the syllabus. And fourth month will be totally dedicated to Indian anthropology and applied perspectives. And month 5, complete revision, PYQs, mock tests, etc., model answers, dynamic diagrams and map ka practice, and current affair integration, and final consolidation. So this course also includes, weekly feedback, your sectional tests, comprehensive tests, and doubt solving sessions also. So this is all in brief a 5-month roadmap to cover this syllabus, entire syllabus. With good understanding, I am always focusing and emphasizing on conceptual clarity, conceptual understanding. So confusion to clarity, and that clarity gives you or takes you near 300 marks in your option. So that's it for today. I think this would be a rough plan, like you learn, revise, answer writing practice, feedback and improvement, and again, so this is brief, briefly the roadmap, the strategy, the answer writing, hacks, I would say, or tricks, I would say. For answer writing, I will have to take a 2-hour session, dedicated session to for you people to know exactly how to write good answers, which will definitely fetch you the good marks. So that's it for today, friends. I take your leave now. If you have any query, any doubt, reach out to me at the academy. Thank you very much.